This is the story of Poppyseed, a Serendipity Book, written by Stephen Cosgrove and illustrated by Robin James. It says, being a big brother or sister is a special job. There were many delights in the land of serendipity, natural delights. Trees sang in the mountain breezes that blew so gently there. The clouds slipped across the skies, warning of early spring storms that sometimes blew down into the valleys, dressing all in a mantle of snow. Early spring snows, drifting snowflakes that sometimes dusted the meadows with blankets of white, sometimes even tickled the nose of a bunny who chose to scamper about, leaving footprints for others to follow. In this land of serendipitous delights was a farm, a simple farm indeed. White board fences, neatly ordered, bordered this farm to hold some creatures in and others out. Here, winter finally slipped away, and beneath the mantle of snow were clover and daisies, which popped their heads as if to welcome spring. In the barnyard, ducks, geese, and an old mother hens busily bustled about, arranging this and that, food for spring, and maybe a picnic or two when summer came. Here too was a once mighty horse, still mighty with the pride of memory, but long since past the age of plowing and pulling. He too felt the call of springtime breezes with their tease of things to come. But the best of the farm, and of all who lived here, and the best to me, were the cows that mooed and mowed the meadow, big brown eyes that could cause a grown man to cry if he took the time to look. He blinked in wonder at the springtime meadow, for what had been fields of snow the day before were now beginning to bloom. It's okay. Don't worry, baby girl. Do you like the cows? Are they your favorite?
I like the flowers.
You like the flowers?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. They stood here, great heads lifted high above the fence, sniffing the air and breathing all of the newness about them. Then, one by one, they marched to the meadow to taste firsthand the sweetness of spring. This herd of cows, there were three a bit more special than the others, because their mother, Mary Ellen, and their father, Tinker, had calved a late winter child, and normally all of the calves were born in the middle of spring. They named their calf after the winter poppy that grew, and because he was but a child, they simply called him Poppyseed, the beginning of new flowers to come. See Poppyseed.
Can I see Poppyseed?
Yeah, there's Poppyseed. Don't wiggle the basket. Let go. Thank you. He is very cute. Look at him. Poppyseed had the best of the best, for being the only child in an adult herd can be a wondrous blessing. The bulls would butt with him with great mock battle, and the other cows would laugh at his antics as he chased a butterfly on his tail round and round like a whirling dervish. Even when Poppyseed got into trouble, the others never scolded or punished him. One day he even tried to eat the greener grass that grew on the other side of the fence. Unable to clamber between the rails, he tried to climb over the top. And as is always the case for these kinds of situations, he did nothing more than get stuck. He was a mugwump, if you would, with his mug on one side and his wump on the other. What's a wump? A tail? You think so?
No, I was meaning the thing that sticked up.
Oh, the beginning of his tail?
No, I mean the thing that I'm touching.
Oh, that's his hip bone.
Oh.
Yeah. Is that a wump? No. 2 of the bulls and 3 cows pulled and tugged With a thump, his wump and mug were on the same side at once again. But like all things, even the barnyard changes, and with the warmth of spring and the promise of summer yet to come, the other cows suddenly became edgy. Irritable, if you like. Are you being edgy? Yeah. Now, Poppyseed had always been allowed to take lunch when he liked from any cow bearing milk. And this day he stopped, and as was his wont, and began to sip a bit. But this day, unlike the others, he was rebuffed and shooed away. Try though he might, none of the cows wished to share their milk. One of the cows, irritated by his insistence, even flapped him in the face with her bushy tail.
That is not nice.
Bawling, he ran about the meadow seeking his mother and father. "Oh, mother," he cried, the cows won't share their milk, and worst of worst, they don't even want me around." There, there, mooed his mother. "It isn't you, my little Poppyseed, for this is the time of the others." "Others?" asked Poppyseed, totally confused. "You mean to say that I am not the only one?" "Yes," said his father, "for in this time of late spring, the other babies will be calved, and then," it's okay, Briar, "and then you will not be the only little one. You will have brothers and sisters and cousins galore, and even more." And the others came. That day and the next, the meadow was filled with anxious cries of newborn calves as they were dropped into the middle of life. Poppyseed looked on in wonder at this miracle of birth. One moment there would be one very fat cow, and the next there would be two cows, and one very tired mama, and the others with wobbly legs of the newborn calf. Just leave it alone, Briar. We can fix it later.
No, I can fix it.
I'd rather you not fix it now. Can you please leave it alone? And with the birth of the others came a great change in the meadow, and the great change in Poppyseed's life. And before he would spin around chasing butterflies with his tails, the cows and bulls of the herd would laugh at his antics. But now they paid little mind. In fact, they even called him a bother and told him to go away. And it seemed that the little calves were more special, and it seemed that they were all cuter than he.
I told you I could fix it.
You did. One of the cows even told him that he was an older brother now, not a baby, and that he should make himself useful and help, not hinder. With the rebuffing in his ear and a tear in his eye, he wandered from the herd, which didn't even notice as he had walked away. And it was then, in the confusion of his self-pity, that Poppyseed decided to run away. He clambered upon the fence, and though for a time he was stuck, no bull or cow came to his rescue. Do you know what a bull is, Briar?
What?
It's a data cow. Yeah. "Old cows," he grumbled as he picked himself up out of the mud on the other side of the fence. I don't need that old herd. Maybe I should become a horse and plow the fields. That will make me useful." And with that, he trotted from the meadow to the old sun-bleached barn to find a harness and a plow to pull. Once in the barn, he pulled and tugged on the harness and reins until, with a crash, it fell about his neck. And with the gear tangled and wrapped about him, there was no way for him to walk, let alone pull a plow. He would have been there. He would have been there to this very day had not the old farm horse found him in the mess that he had made. Laughing in that neighing way that horses laugh, the old horse pulled the gear off of Poppyseed's back. "Put that back," cried the little calf, "for I am to become useful, and I must carry the harness and learn to pull the plow." "And why," asked the old horse, "would you ever want to pull a plow?"
What's a plow?
Oh, it's what the horses use to break up the weeds and rocks and dirt in the field so you can plant new crops.
Oh.
It was then that Poppyseed, with tears in his eyes, told the old horse the story of calving in the meadow. "Oh, little calf," consoled the old horse, "being a big brother isn't so bad. The little ones need to have the bigger ones to look up to. And the little ones it's okay, love, need to be shown what to eat and where to eat it. And the little ones need to be taught not to climb the fence. The little ones need an older brother to love. All this made little sense to Poppyseed, and it seemed that he would not ever be wanted in the barn. He was not even wanted in the barn by the horse. Sadly, his head held low. He went back over the fence and once again into the meadow. And it was there that he bumped into, quite innocently, into one of the little calves who was trying to eat a weed. I love this picture.
So you want to put it up more closer?
Isn't it beautiful? The sun shining through the clouds down onto him. He's like, oh, thank you. Oh, don't eat that, Poppyseed sighed. The weeds taste like dirt. Here, eat the clover and the grasses, for they are sweet to eat. He patiently showed the little calf all of the sweets to eat. And it wasn't long before he was surrounded by a small herd of little ones looking upon him in admiration. Unlike the older cows, the little calves didn't tell him to be useful, for he was. And more than that, Poppyseed was loved for what he was, an older, bigger brother. If into your life others come, brought to life by your mother and father, just remember the calf Poppyseed and how he became an older brother.
He's gonna be a dada.
Yeah.
Let's see it.